going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Trick 10s. This is part 3 of this Tracker Grizzly kit build, and this thing's turning out sick. As you just saw in the last episode, I finished up this back area from the back bench seat to the transom as one kit. These side leveler pieces are pretty cool. They're going to come in handy for anybody trying to build out one of these trackers. Now, the hatches that drop into the back bench, those can be any size you want. I made them 20 by 20. Just because that's about as big as you can go, and I like to do this stuff big. That way you have plenty of room to fit stuff inside of those hatches. Now, the rest of the boat looks sick though. All these hatches, I just put them in here and staged them up. That way I could take a thumbnail for the video, but they're all powder coated black, and this front deck looks amazing. I mean, the thing is just perfect. A lot of my boat builds have the same type of layout, but this one is gonna be part of a kit. Now, I've got a little bit of tweaking to do to figure this thing out and make it perfect, but it's gonna happen very shortly. I'm at the stage of the game in this build where there's a lot of stuff I gotta do that may not be very interesting. So a lot of this video is gonna be on the hyperlapse. I'll probably do some talking over it and some music. But I'm gonna turn this camera around. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm getting ready to get started on. Let's do it. All right, so the powder coat on these hatches makes it look so good, guys. And I got this whole front deck just staged up here, but you can see this piece is not installed. So I am going to be putting this front deck framing in here permanently. See on the side of there, I already got my hole cut off my live well. I'm gonna get that live well installed. I'm going to address all of these stupid rib nut pieces right here, or the drive nails, whatever they are. These things are probably just gonna get ground off. I'm gonna come back in between all these, shoot more rivets that I can flush. That way I can have this turf sitting in here without it giving little bubbles in it. And then we've got these stupid handles right here. These are just like, oh shit handles, I guess. You can hold on to them if you have to, but they're in the way. Turf's gonna wrap over that. So we're gonna cut those off, do away with them. I'm gonna take this panel off right here. I'm gonna relocate that up inside of one of the hatches. That way everything is ready for turf. Then I've still got a lot to do with figuring out all of the wiring and stuff. That's probably gonna be in the later portion of this video, because what I really wanna do is get this back bench seat finished up. Now you look inside of here, he's got these big open spaces right here. Now, the reason they do it this way is because they don't want foam to get up underneath of here. This is the main channel. It runs all the way up the center of the boat right here. It doesn't have foam inside there. The reason for that is they want to give you an area where you can run wires or hoses or whatever you might need to run. Now, this side is open because they fill it with foam. I've dug as much foam out of here as I can get. I'm going to build some little pieces that are going to come across here and turn up the side. I'm going to rivet into here. I might even put a little lip on the side and rivet them in here. Basically, just to finish this thing off and make this like a completed project back here. Then I'm going to work on this back area right here. I got all these batteries in here. You got 1, 2, 3 batteries and a battery charger. I need to get these things out of here. If you can see down inside of there, that hole is where his bilge pump is going to be going, and he's also going to have the pump for his live well going in there. So I'm going to put all 3 of those batteries inside of this big hatch right here. There's tons of room in here. All 3 of those batteries are going to fit inside of there. As always, we've got quite a bit of work to do. So I'm going to get this stuff rolling. Let's get back to work. All right, guys, so as you just saw in that last clip, I was grinding down all of these stupid drive nails they put in here. I don't know why they want to put steel in here. This is a premium aluminum boat. It's completely welded, no rivets, solid aluminum, and then they put these stupid steel anchors in here. You can tell it's steel because when I was grinding, it had all those orange sparks flying off of it. So that grinding wheel is trash. It's got steel in it. Can't use it on aluminum anymore. I'm going to show you why they are doing this. It's pretty stupid. This tubing right here, this is sitting higher on this side, low on this side. See that? I try to get it from an angle. It's low as crap. I mean, you're talking almost 3/16 of an inch here, and it's about an 1/8 inch tall on that side. You can see this thing sticking way up here. Well, those drive nails that they put in there, they're about 3/4 of an inch long. And the reason for that is so they can gap this. I mean, look at this gap right here. They're shooting rivets through here. This one right here, it's going right into this piece down here. Now, there's a gap in there about 1/4 inch. That's not good. That's why these trackers' floor ribs crack, because they have this stupid crap and then a gap that just allows it to flex, and they end up cracking. I've still got a bunch more of these drive nails up in here. I'm not going to grind all those down. I just can't do all that. It's too much work. I did paint over the top of all these, though. Now this floor is completely ready for turf. I got all these things ground down. You can see they're smooth. And these are the rivets that I put in here. I had to use some long rivets. These are like 3/4 inch rivets because they have a gap in there. Some of them were flush, but I think this is going to be good. It's going to be perfect for me to install the floor. Now that that's done, I'm going to try to get all these battery pans made up so I can get them installed in here. And I'm going to try to put this live well in here so I can put this front deck in here permanently. Let's get back to work. All right, so as you just saw, I ran this hose up here. I had to cut through the side panel wall right here. You see it over here. Ran a hose up through there and up through here. Now, that's how I was going to run this live well and have the pumps on this side underneath the switch panel, which is going into this drop-in hatch right here. The issue with that is that I was going to run all of his electrical wires through this side panel right here, and I don't think that's going to be a possibility. Look at this. There's tons of foam right here. This stuff is so dense and solid. I mean, I don't even know how I get that out of there. I did cut a hole up inside of here. You can see I got a hole right there in the corner. It's just packed with foam. Like I was trying to figure out a way I could punch that through. There's no way I'll be able to punch it through all the way up to the side right here. I really want to do it that way. I hate the fact that I can't do it that way because I like to have my wires up here on the side. But the only other option would be to cut this all the way across here and then cut it lower and take like this whole panel out, dig all the foam out, run the wires up through there. And I honestly don't even know if I have enough turf to turf all of this. Once I turf all the rest of the boat, like these side pieces are the last pieces that I do. If I don't have enough to do down here on the vertical wall, I'll just do the top. So what I'm gonna do, and I don't really want to, but I am going to cut over here where this foam is, back out farther, and I'm gonna relocate this hose over to that side. I'm gonna have both of his pumps over there, the fill and the recirculate and the overflow. And that actually works out all right because that's kind of a dead space anyways. And it's tight. It's not going to have a lot of room over there. But underneath this hatch, I'm just going to have all the electrical wires in here. And I don't like running all my wires in this floor because any water that gets in the boat, it's coming right down here. It's the middle of the boat. All the water's going to be right there. So those wires are going to be underwater. Unfortunately, I don't really have a better option at this time. So I'm going to try to suck them up as tight as I can to this wall right here. I'm going to run a couple extra wires in there for them. And we'll see what happens. That's the only thing I can come up with at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out and get this stuff going. Let's get back to work. All right, so I just cut this floor out of here and I cut this piece out of the side panel right here. Now you can see there's tons of foam in here. If you actually look at this side panel right here, it's bowing out. It's even worse on that side over there, but you can see how much foam is in here. They shoot this stuff in through these little holes in the top right here. These are just little plastic grommets they put in here to cover them up, but they use those holes to just pump this foam in here. And this stuff is bowing out. It's packed so tight in there between this side panel and the outside of the hull. It's insane. I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't know why they want to put this stuff in here. But the worst part about this foam is that when I started cutting this floor out right here, I was using the cutting wheel and the thing started getting wet. It was splashing water up on me and it actually broke. It caught up on me. I don't know if you can see it in the hyperlapse video, but there's my glove right there. And look at my hand. Holy crap. Thank God I had a glove on, but I mean, that's like right on the verge, 1/8 of an inch deeper, and I would be in the hospital right now getting stitches. It wouldn't be the first time, and it won't be the last time, but luckily enough, that thing just barely grazed my hand, but it ripped completely through that glove right there. So we got lucky on that one. But I started digging this foam out of here, and I had to show you guys this. Look at this. This boat has been in my garage for like 4 weeks now, and look at all this water inside here. Look, it's just standing water in here. How is there standing water in here? I mean, this foam is pointless. I don't care who tells you that the pour foam is a good idea. It's not. I mean, this is living proof right here. There's no way you should ever put this foam in your boat. I mean, this thing has been inside my garage. I've been working on it for a while now, and this foam is so heavy. And this piece right here probably weighs at least 3 pounds. Like, it's just saturated. The water down there, just sitting in there because that foam's not allowing it to get out of your boat. And if you're fishing in the salt, that's salt water. And it's just sitting right up against your aluminum. It's just going to oxidize your hull. I'm going to dig all this foam out of here. I got a lot to do, guys. Let's get back to work. All right, guys, so I had to cut this video right here. I got to explain to y'all what's going on. Now, that last clip that I did was from about 5 days ago. I cut the hole in the side panel and it was completely saturated with water. I mean, it was all the way up like 6 inches into the side of the side panel, which is a good 3 inches above the bottom of the floor in the boat already, and it's just holding water. I mean, there's tons of water weight in here, and it's never gonna get out of here unless we take it out now. So I wanted to give the customer the option to tell me yes or no if he wants me to get it out of here. I talked to him and I explained everything that's going on with it, and it's pretty labor intensified. I mean, in order to get all this foam out of these sides, I'm gonna have to cut that whole entire side, like a big trap door in it, and just fold it down and dig all that foam out and then put it right back in there and weld it. So he opted out of doing the side panels. We're just gonna do the floor. There's a lot of foam in this floor, and that's probably the worst of it. So I'm gonna end up having to take all these stupid drive nails out of here. I'm gonna have to grind them off flush. And I just put like 20 new rivets in here. So I'm gonna drill all those out, remove the whole big piece that's in the floor, and dig all that foam out of there. I'll show you guys some of that once I get into it, because I guarantee you it is all soaked and is probably gonna fill up an entire trash can with waterlogged foam. So I don't recommend that you guys use pour foam. I hate the fact that Tracker is doing this because I have a Tracker PT190 that's actually the same exact year as this boat, and I'm kind of worried that it has the same foam in it. I fished that thing 99% salt water, so that's just salt water sitting on the inside of my hull. The hull of my Tracker is powder coated, but I'm pretty positive that the inside of it is probably just raw aluminum. I doubt that they powder coated the entire interior of it. I mean, fingers crossed, I hope they did, but it's probably not likely. I'm gonna have to address that very shortly. But on this hull right here, I'm gonna take the floor out. It's gonna be a pain in the butt because I just put a bunch of new rivets in here and I gotta grind down all these drive nails. But I'm gonna get this floor out of here. I'm gonna dig all the foam out of here. I'm gonna leave the foam up in the front deck, which is not in the budget. Side panel foam is gonna be staying. I'm probably gonna end up taking the foam out of these back two little sections, these pods on the side, because I gotta have a place to run the pump out for his bilge pump, and there's nowhere else to put it. So I'm gonna have to at least dig it out on one side of that. Once I get this floor out of here, I'm gonna show you guys what this foam looks like, and I guarantee you it's holding a ton of water, just like the side panel was right here. I cannot believe that Tracker is using this foam. I mean, it makes me sick on my stomach to think that this might be the same foam that I have in my boat. It's pointless. Why would you even put this foam in here? It's gotta be something about the numbers. I mean, that's the only reason I can think. They're using this cheap ass foam and it's perfect the first time they go around and test it. And then after that, they don't really care because the longevity of it is never gonna hold up. I mean, there's no way possible. This boat has been garage kept by the owner that's had it for the past 2 years. And I've had it for a month and a half. It's never been outside once, and it still has tons of water inside of it. So I can only imagine how much water is going to be up in this floor down here, but we're going to find out real soon. One thing I want to share with you guys real quick. I do have some insight on how these boats, or all boats, are tested. I was buying these boats from a company that tests them for the U.S. Coast Guard. Now, this is a civilian-owned company, and they basically just go out and send salesmen to blind buy different boats from different dealers, different brands, different models. They test every single boat from every manufacturer. It's just a random wild card draw that they're gonna go to this marina and buy this boat. And what they do is they take it back to their facility. They got a huge freshwater pool there, and they'll buy the boat, put it in the water, they'll fill it with sandbags, and whatever the Coast Guard tag is on that boat, they will test it to make sure that that Coast Guard tag lives up to its meaning. They will put hundreds of pounds of sandbags in these boats. They'll hang them over the transom to act like motors, and they got this thing down to a science. And what they were doing is buying all these boats, and they didn't have a place to keep them, so they were just trying to get rid of them real quick. And they ended up having a ton of extra boats that were smaller aluminum ones that they just didn't have a big market for. So I came in and I bought like 8, 9, every boat they had that was aluminum, and I got killer deals on them. They were selling them at like half price, and they were basically brand new. I mean, some of them failed. And if they failed, what they did was they called the company and told them, hey, we got your boat, we tested it, it came from here. And they would send a rep out. They look at it, and then they send a guy out there with a hole saw, and he'd drill a hole in it and put some spray foam inside of the thing. And then they test it again until it passed. Sometimes they had to come out 3 or 4 times and add more foam in different locations just so they could pass the test. That's what this foam is. It's just bullcrap foam that they're just putting in here to pass these tests. And after that, they don't really care what happens to your boat. And it pisses me off because I own a Tracker and I don't really care what boat it is. As someone who's selling a boat, you gotta do better than this. This is just unacceptable. They cannot do this. This is just literally like robbery. I mean, I pay all this money to have a nice solid welded aluminum hull, and then you're gonna put some foam in here that's just gonna trap salt water and corrode it from the inside out. I don't think so. We need to start a petition or something like that, because this has got to change. They've got to know that we're not okay with this and we're not going to buy their boats. I don't know what the answer is, but this is not going to fly with me. I'm going to have to start building boats, guys. I think that's the only answer, is that I've got to build boats. I got to build some sweet boats. They're not going to be cheap, but they're going to be lifetime boats. And you're never going to have to deal with any issues like you're dealing with this right here. Now, this is an extra added expense that this customer's going to have to pick up for me to dig out the foam in the floor. I really would like to dig out all of the foam in here, just because it really makes me mad that it's in here, but it is what it is. So I'm going to get all this stuff out of here, and we're going to pick up right where we left off in the next episode, guys. I really appreciate you guys watching. Hit that like, subscribe button, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this foam. Do you have the same type of foam in your boat? Have you been dealing with these same issues? We got to come together, guys. We got to come up with a solution. We got to let these big companies know that we're not playing their games. I'll see y'all next time. I got to get back to work.